Hey guys, Ken here from the Retro Toys Escapades channel in Malaysia. After months of anticipation, JFS Toys have finally revealed the painted prototypes of their upcoming ROBOCOP, Villains of Old Detroit range of 110 scale action figures. These are the heinous criminals who brutally disposed of policeman hero Alex Murphy in the original 1987 movie and brought about his rebirth as RoboCop, the future of law enforcement. Now, we're going to be discussing the details and images provided for all of the 5 figures in the series in today's video. So stick around, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's get into it. First up, we're checking out Clarence Boddicker, the baddest crime boss in Old Detroit. Now we have this one main product pic that shows off the figure in its entirety from head to toe, as well as all of the accessories that it comes with. And as you can see, Clarence will come with a lot of interchangeable hands. By the way, just a reminder that these are still early prototype images. The figures are still being worked on, and that's a good thing too, as I felt that the initial sculpt of Clarence here that I'm looking at looks pretty rough. Right? In fact, both of the head sculpts here look like they maybe need a lot more work done with them. However, I can't really say for sure because there isn't that many good full frontal shots of the figure for now, and in the provided images here, most of them has his face blurred out, right? Now, aside from the hands, Clarence comes with 2 weapons, including a pistol and his shotgun, as well as some very scene-specific accessories like the tracker device that he uses to hunt down RoboCop and the grenade that he uses to blow up Bob Morton. Now, there's a lot of display options with the figure for sure, but I am curious if his glasses do come off. Okay, are these removable? I'm not really sure. In the earlier prototype images, it looks like they do come off, but based on the 2 alternate heads here, both the glasses seem to be stuck on, alright? But we'll see, okay? Clarence is the main bad guy and the one that most collectors will rush to get first, so it's absolutely crucial that he gets done just right. Next, we're checking out Leon Nash, Clarence's right-hand man. Just a really great looking sculpt all around. At first, I thought that maybe they made his face look too thin, but then I looked at it again and it looks just fine, guys. Alright. Now, he gets an additional 2 pairs of hands with different poses. He gets a shotgun, a pistol, and the Cobra assault cannon. Now, this one here is a truly iconic piece of hardware from the movie, and a few of the figures in the series will come equipped with it as well. So like I said, the face sculpt looks really good, and he gets 2 expressions, one with just a serious neutral expression, and the other is him, I guess, laughing maniacally, Yeah, I mean, he enjoys his job, okay, what can I say? But the expression that I suppose fans most remember him for is that of screaming terror as Toxic Emil tries to hug him. Now, the third villain on the list is Joe Cox, another fantastic looking sculpt. I love the detailing on his coat and also his sneakers. He's easily the trendiest looking bad guy here, and in fact, in the movie, he was definitely the most flamboyant too. Both the face portraits look spot on. He has a super serious looking expression, and with his alternate look with the beret and the shades on, he looks really militant, okay, ready to start a war on the streets of Detroit. Now, in the movie though, Joe was the one who was seen cracking a lot of jokes and laughing almost throughout. So I'm surprised that at least one of the face sculpts does not have him with an evil looking grin. Still, he's possibly the most unique looking of the bunch when it comes to his overall costume. And the weapon accessories look great on him as well. You have the choice of either outfitting him with a pistol, a shotgun, or the Cobra assault cannon. A great mix of hardware, and also he seems to be the one with the most number of interchangeable hands. There's something like 4 sets in here in total. Now, I would say that this figure should rightfully be in a top 3 list of the best street gangster figures released this year. Okay, and then we've got Steve Min, as played by actor Calvin Jung in the movie. And I just realized that Calvin Jung has actually been a background actor in a lot of action movies from the 80s and 90s. I almost did not recognize him in Lethal Weapon 4. Now, his overall costume here is somewhat generic, just like in the movie, but he gets a neutral facial sculpt that looks really good. The likeness here is solid. But then he also gets a second portrait, which at first glance sort of makes him look, I don't know, constipated. But I think that this is supposed to be based off the scene where he taunts RoboCop at the factory and just tells him to straight up F off, okay? So that's the look, okay? That's his FU look. Now, he possibly has the least amount of accessories among all of the figures here. He gets a few extra hands. He gets a shotgun. And by the way, all of the shotguns for the figures are actually different sculpts if you look closely. So it's not the same thing recycled across all of the figures, all right? And then, he also gets the Cobra Salt Cannon again, which is a bit odd, okay, when I think about it, because, if I remember, Steve was already killed off by the time the gang actually gets their hands on these Cobra weapons for the final assault. So he never really had a chance to use it in the movie. But probably they decided to add it here just to give something of an extra value to the figure. And when you think about it, the three of these characters, Joe Cox, Steve Min, Leon Nash, they are definitely memorable, but possibly they didn't have a lot of screen time in the movie. So, I would think that maybe fans probably would not want to rush out and pick these guys immediately. But you do get incentives, okay, because all three of them come with the Cobra Assault Cannon. Okay, that's something that is probably the most lethal piece of hardware among all of the weapons that you see here. Now, Steve also comes with some really unique accessories, something that no other figure in this series has, and that's a batch of these lab canisters, which in the movie contained illegal pharmaceuticals. So these were all over the place in the factory where RoboCop has the battle with the bad guys, and Steve actually loses his life there. So probably they felt that, having these canisters together with him is the most appropriate choice. And finally, we have the last villain in the series, and it is Emil Antonowski, who I would say is probably the second most memorable bad guy from RoboCop outside of Clarence Bodica, based off his screen time and the number of unforgettable scenes that he was involved in, some of which are burned into our brains forever. Now, look, Emil here comes with some really unique looking accessories. Here's some stuff here that definitely are very scene specific to what the character used in the film. So he's got a shotgun, a machine pistol. Okay, so far the only character here to actually have a machine pistol. That's pretty cool. He's got a bottle of whiskey. He's got a pack of cigarettes. Okay, check this out, right? The only character to have a bottle of whiskey and a pack of cigarettes. It's been a long time since I've seen an action figure come with a bottle of whiskey and a pack of cigarettes. I think almost never, all right? I don't have a single action figure in my collection that actually has a pack of cigarettes, okay? Maybe a bottle of whiskey, but not a pack of cigarettes, right? So he's got two face sculpts here. And look, honestly, these are just prototypes, like I said, so I'm not really sure if these are entirely final. I do feel that he just looks a little bit too skinny. Okay, definitely, he looks a little bit too skinny compared to how he looked like in the movie. Again, maybe I'm just looking at this thing wrong from a different angle. Maybe it looks better in hand. It probably does. It does look decent. And one of the face sculpts here has a cigarette tucked in his mouth there. So definitely a bit of variety. But somehow I feel that both for him and Clarence, the sculpt just seems a bit off. And that could be frustrating because these are the most important characters. To me personally, probably the most memorable of the whole bunch. And yet for the other three guys, I would say are spot on, okay, just off the prototypes alone. But for Clarence and Emil, I do hope that there's just a little bit more tweaking that's going to be involved. Okay, let's wait and see. But either way, all of this stuff here just looks amazing. This is the first time ever any of these villains have been made into action figure form. Now, JFS Toys was supposed to have the figures available on their website on the 31st of March this year, but something happened. I think there was some sort of like technical error that forced them to postpone the pre-order date. So look out for details from them. And of course, I'll be sharing whatever details are available as I get them. But they have shared on a Facebook post the pricing point for these figures, and these are apparently going to go for 60 US dollars per figure or 275 US for a set of 5 figures, right? Which I think honestly, for what is essentially a startup company, JFS Toys is a brand new company. This is their first official license. For a startup company to be putting out a line of figures that are official from the studio, $60 is pretty much unheard of, right, in this day and age. Because we've seen a lot of companies, a lot of new companies out there who even put out unlicensed stuff in the 7-inch scale market. And that stuff goes for sometimes $80 or even $100, and it's justified because of the smaller margins and the smaller operation status of the companies. So for something like this to go for 60 USD, I think that it's a pretty great deal. in this day and age. Okay, it's not fantastic, right? But it is a great introductory price point for this new set. So guys, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think of these newly revealed painted prototype images of the villains of old Detroit from JFS Toys. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon. Take care out there.